How's it going, guys? So we're gonna switch it up a bit. Instead of doing a video on actually how to make things, we are going to do a little bit of design aspect. So this is gonna be a little intro to AutoCAD, I guess you could call it, and how to use AutoCAD, or how I use AutoCAD. So here we have a simple bracket that I made because I need these brackets for the front suspension. Now these are all to my specific spec or measurements rather that I need. So I'll just show you guys how to make this. So we'll go through a bit of back features first. So if we go to dimensions, but what I'm looking for is units. Here you go. So this is what we're going to be working with. We're working with inches. You can change it to millimeters, miles. I don't think you can use miles, but decameters, all that good stuff. We're going to use inches, so we're going to keep it at that. We're going to see precision here, and we're going to do it to that many decimals. Yeah, it's a little big, but that's okay. We're setting decimal. There's engineering, fractional, scientific, and architectural. We're just going to work with decimal degrees, and precision to the 0. Okay, so that's pretty much that. And that you can find it in format and then units. So we'll work with that. So to start off, we're going to take one of these lines, we're going to turn on snap grid. And so now you see it snapping to the grid. Everywhere I go, it just snaps to the next little intersection. And if I don't want that, I can turn this off, and then it's free. However, let's say I take a line, I turn this little thingy on. It's a object snap. I can go to the intersection, the endpoint, or the other endpoint. And the way you do that is you right click, and it's going to show you all this, and you can check midpoint if you want midpoint, perpendicular, the tangent, or the nearest little dot there. So we're going to keep it at that. So yeah, we'll start off by just using a line. I'm going to turn on snap grid, and we'll go somewhere else. So my line actually was, because I have to start off by circle. This is the way that I did this, is I did a circle first, and now I'm snapping all over the place. I first started off with a bigger circle, and in the middle of that I did a smaller circle. So what we'll do is, because I have my rod end and I use my caliper to measure, I'm doing this off camera here, but I have my caliper and I measure it. And I'm reading an inch, and I think it's about an inch and a quarter, or an inch and 5/8. So I mean that's technically 1.3. So we'll say 1.4. So yeah, I use 0.75 because 0.75 times 2 is 15. Or sorry, it's 1.5, so it's 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches. Oh yeah, I did this little buffer section around my thing. So I mean, we're gonna go with a measurement of 1.5. We're gonna turn on snap grid. And because we need to be at the center of something, we're gonna we are going to first put a line, and we'll do it here. And that's just a line snapped between two. And we're gonna go turn off snap grid. We're going to go to the midpoint, and we're going to not write anything. We're going to do 0.75. That'll give us our circle. So that's our circle here. And the reason why I used 0.75 is because that means that when you type in 0.75, all I did is I clicked on the circle, on the circle tool. I went to my line, I clicked once, and I typed in my measurement, and that gave me the circle I wanted. So we're going to do that again, and because the hole in the middle of my little circle thing is half an inch, we're going to do 0.25, and that should, I'm just going to double check with my measurements because I did this a little bit ago. Yeah, okay, so I did 0.25, I'm right. So we're going to do that. We're going to click, and you see I can either drag it manually. I can drag it manually wherever I want. So there, I'm automatically snaps to 0.25. But for the fun of it, we're going to do like a big circle. We're going to go 0.25, bam, and it snapped. So now this little circle we're not going to need anymore. So what we're going to zoom in a little bit to isolate ourselves here. All right. So because my bracket length, I wanted it to be half an inch. Not half an inch, but 1.5 inches this way. Or it could be the other way because the bracket is kind of like inversible. We are going to do that. We're going to do, first I'm going to click on this line, turn on snap grid, click here. I'm just going to draw a line straight through. I'll show you guys why in a sec. Alright, so here you see I have this circle. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a command that's trim. Now what trim does, I'll show you another example here. If I do a bunch of lines, we'll say we'll do like this, whatever, and we will, what do we want to do? We'll go to the midpoint, snapping to midpoint, and we'll do this. So now let's say you only want this portion of it. Well, you can't necessarily just delete it because it's all one piece. So what you do is use the command trim, T-R-I-M, enter, and it's going to ask you to select select a line. Now what that does, so I'm going to select this line. Now what that does is it creates an invisible wall where it divides your circle into half. Now you're going to hit enter again. And now your tool is going to pretty much like erase whatever you want. So you're going to go over this, and it's going to say erase, but we don't want to erase that. Goes over this, erase. We click it, done, enter. And then you have this, so then you could like erase this if you wanted to. And you could like make, I don't know, like some sort of bracket if you wanted to, or you could do another circle. I don't know. You could have some fun with that. So it allows you to manipulate different drawings in the way you want them to, or you can remove lines that normally with just like the delete tool you couldn't. So if I wanted to do this, I could delete, but it deletes the whole thing. We'll put that back. So we're going to do the command trim again, and then click the line, and we're going to delete that. Bam, done. So we are going to take our line again, now that we have this half circle. But we want to keep this half circle because that's our mounting point, right? So we'll go this way, and we're going to do 1.5, bam, and it's going to give us our line. Now if we wanted to, we could go straight across immediately if we wanted to have a flat mounting point and just complete it. But we're not going to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 1.25, 1.5, and we're just going to hit escape. Now, another feature that's convenient with this, with AutoCAD, is you use the mirror command. Now, in the 2015 AutoCAD, there is, you have this little side panel. Now, I think in the 2013 or the 2014 model, it's a little different. I think it's a little different than the 2014 model. So what we're going to do is we're gonna click on the mirror. And it says select object. So okay, we're gonna select this object, and we're gonna do enter, and then it's gonna say select the mirror line. So we are going to go bam right in the middle, and you see it's gonna start to. As you see, I'm going to snap to the midpoint. It's going to say erase source objects, N for no, Y for yes. What we're going to do N. So there. And now we mirrored our line. Now you could do the same thing if you want to just cut this whole thing in half. But, you know, like, whatever. We're doing this, so might as well. just for the sake of showing you guys. We're going to turn off grid snap. It's going to be object snap. Cut it straight down the middle. Now we're going to do trim. Well, we're going to select this line. Delete all this junk. Oh, yeah. We're going to delete that. So now we have half of our object. But we don't exactly want that. So obviously you wouldn't do this because we already had like pretty much our bracket. But this is just to show what you could do. So here, do this, enter, and we're going to select this whole point. And the object, and there. So now we have successfully mirrored our object. So now to finish it off, if you want, you could just do like something, a line across, whatever, and then you'd have your bracket, and you could mount it flush. Or you could, I don't know, if you wanted to, if you wanted to, you could do this, and you could have like a weird, wonky little mounting point. I wouldn't suggest going further than the midpoint of this line because then it would impact your rod end, or in my case, it impact my rod end, or to impact your part that you're mounting there, or your bolt, or whatever. So think of it as you're gonna have two of these parts, so keep that in mind. So now what we're gonna do is, because my buggy frame, this is mounting for my front suspension, my dune buggy. So I'm gonna take my caliper here, and it's just over an inch. My pipe. It's about an 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch. Oh, not even. It's like it's 1,000th off. It's not even. It's like, yeah. It's 1,000th of an inch off. So what we're gonna do is, that's such a minute thing. So we're just gonna do 1 inch. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this. We're gonna draw a line, but we're not gonna keep it. So we're gonna take our circle command again. We're gonna do, because it's snapping. It's still snapping to grid, but because you see it's highlighted, the little green triangle is highlighted. That means it's your midpoint. That means that's where your line is gonna go. Now if I go here, you can see that it's highlighted there, but if I go here, it's still there, which means it's still there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the midpoint. What's going on here? We're going to go to the midpoint, bam. Oops, I didn't put the circle, okay. There, we're going to click the midpoint, and we're going to do, so because we're doing 1 inch, we're going to do 0.5, which is half an inch. Remember, we're in inches, so it's 0.5 an inch. And then there, that's our circle. Now, same thing as before, we're going to use the trim command, delete this section, and we're going to trim again. Now, if you wanted to, you could do just 2 lines, but just for simplicity, we're just going to do this. So there, then we have an exact duplicate of our bracket. But now, because I wanted 20 of these, if your machine shop wanted you to do the work, you could just do this and select, and then go copy to clipboard, copy. You could just paste a whole bunch, and because these parts are getting laser cut, they could all have the same joint and it wouldn't matter. So I mean, oops. So I mean, you get the point. I'm sure you guys understand what I'm saying. So yeah, we're just gonna do that, and that's how you do the bracket, or that's how I did my brackets. Now, if you would like to know anything else, how to make anything else in AutoCAD, or different features or whatever, just let me know, and I will try to make a video of it. Actually, just before I go, another neat feature of this is you can select this. You can do format. Actually, no. If you go over here, you can do define attribute. You can create an attribute. What I'm looking for is block. There you go, create block. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating a part. It's going to be one whole part that you can go and copy and paste and other things. So right here we're going to do bracket. Okay, and we're gonna go no object. Okay, it's no object selected, so we're gonna select that, enter. So there we go. Now we have a little part, and we're gonna go create block. Now we have a block. What the block does, it allows you to do drawings, and then undo your block, but you can do insert block, and you're gonna go insert, and you can put it wherever you want. And it's gonna be one whole part. So if you click on it, it's the whole thing. Unlike this, if I click on it, it's also the whole thing. But because this now I modified my whole drawing, so not every single one of these is blocked. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do undo erase, undo insert, undo block. So now we have our part again. So that's that. I'm actually gonna duplicate this, and I needed to make another flat mount, so we're gonna do that right now. So yeah, and that's that. So you could do different things. You could do many parts. You can edit this as you please. If you're mounting it, I don't know, in places that are different, you can. Or if you want to leave it, I don't know why you would want this, but if you want, you could like. Okay, I'm gonna do an arc. So we're gonna do this, and you could do, I don't know, round bottom, if that's your thing. I don't know. It's up to you guys. So there's many things you can do with this. So this is like a round bracket. If you want, you can even maybe, I don't know, it would be cool if you could put another hole here. Well, for that you would need to yeah, you'd need to do that, and then of course snap grid off, and then make your other hole. You can even do it bigger if you wanted. And you can make little mounting brackets. You can do bigger, bold, smaller, whatever. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with that. And it's just to give you guys an idea of things you can do with AutoCAD. So yeah, this brings us to the end of our video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I just had the idea of doing this last night actually, and I said why not, and I'll show people how to use AutoCAD, a bit of AutoCAD. It's like a little intro session. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this little video. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe, it helps a lot. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.